Welcome to Ramblings from the Little Shed, the coziest corner of the creative world where art, literature, and our beloved animal companions come together in conversation. Join us in the Little Shed, where ideas flow freely and creativity thrives as we explore the profound ways animals influence and inspire our creative lives. I'm your host, Holly B., along with my co-host, Rogan, and in this episode, we chat with Kari Kilgore. Her wanderlust and imagination lead her all over the world on grand adventures. Her heart brings her home to her native Appalachian mountains of Virginia, where she brings those adventures to life in fiction. Sounds amazing. More than her fair share of wonderful pets, including fish, hamsters, guinea pigs, birds, mice, cats, and dogs, over the years, bring her plenty of warmth, love, and inspiration. Kari writes in almost every genre. Welcome, everyone, to Ramblings from the Little Shed. I'm your host, Holly B. And sadly, my co-host, Rogan, is not here. But that's okay. I told him, I said, Rogan, I'm going to be just fine. We'd like to, I'm speaking like he's here. Tonight, we have Kari Kilgore in the shed. And I'd like to welcome you here with me, Kari. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Holly, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
What's it like over there where you are? Is it winter? Do you have snow or?
We had a little dusting just a few days ago. We can get snow. This house we live in is pretty far up in the woods. It's on 250 acres, a good ways away from the main road. We've been snowed in for a month at a time before, but that's been several years, which is fine with me. I love it. We have 2 wood stoves in this house and we both love the winter. But right now it's just kind of chilly and there you go.
We're quite a ways away from one another, but I've got the wood stove going behind me here. Although I think my fire is out because I haven't tended to it, but it's about minus 30 outside, which I'm not sure how that translates over to Fahrenheit. My husband is very good at that, but it's cold and it's icy.
Cold enough.
It's cold enough. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm so happy that you're here. We met at a dictation class online, which is, again, very cool that we are able to meet people in these different venues and different offerings. And that was a very interesting class. And Sarah is a well-spoken woman who is a great teacher as well. And who knows, maybe one day she'll entertain coming on this podcast. But I really took a lot away from that class. I don't know about you.
I have been surprised at how much I've been using it. Right before she did the live class, I'd wanted to dictate for years and years since I started writing, really. It just always made sense to me to be able to get out, be in the car, be walking the dogs in the yard, whatever it is, walking on the trail here in town and be able to speak. I've been lucky enough to meet Kevin J. Anderson a few times, who wrote some of the Dune books and was involved in the first Dune movie. He dictates constantly. That's what he does.
Okay.
And the idea of walking through Death Valley in California, writing a Dune novel just touched my creative heart so deeply. But then finally, after trying for years, something about Sarah's classes at Sarah Elizabeth Sawyer, something about it just finally clicked. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to do quite a bit of it with journaling, but even with fiction lately. And it's so much faster. I will say it is so much faster.
I agree. And I mean, I've been doing voice notes for quite a while, or if I'm running or walking, I get stuck and then I've got to stop and take create a voice note or write a text to myself. I have so many texts waiting for me. And in the car, I was doing it, but it just wasn't, like you said, it wasn't clicking. And with Sarah's classes, it just something opened up. And it's like a book. It's like a TV show. Right place, right time. That's how I feel about the dictation, because there was something just blocking and then all of a sudden it just opened up. But it also opened up these great connections. And so that's why we're having a conversation here tonight. So let's move into the good stuff about life. And that's our pets, our animals. And please, I want to know so much more. We did talk about your dog a little bit in the class, but this is the time that we're really going to dig in. So tell me all about, you have more than one dog.
We have 2. They're both here in the living room right now. I was out in the yard with them right before we got on the call. We have 2 rescues. One is a pit bull named Pebbles. So she's Pebbles the Pibble. And we got really creative with the Great Dane who came with her. She's Dana.
Very creative. I love it. Is it like Dana, Dana, Danah? I mean, there's so many varieties there.
Dana. It's for 2 riders in the house. We got super creative. But these two, we hadn't planned on adopting at the time. We'd always had dogs since I was 19. I'd always had a dog. And we lost our red bone hound, last sweet, sweet boy. Gosh, I guess it was 2017. It'd been a while back. And so we just had cats, a bunch of rescue cats, which is fine. And then I traded my minivan in for a sedan for the first time in 15 years. And so, of course, we get a call. Are you interested in a pit bull and Great Dane? Sure, we don't have a minivan anymore. Let's get a Great Dane. But they are, I've never seen two dogs as pair bonded as these two.
Wow.
Apparently it was a law enforcement seizure, so pretty awful situation that I don't know much about and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But when they came to us, they were, if you can imagine, a thin pit bull. She was just scrawny, and the Great Dane as well. But they're just joined at the hip. I've never seen anything. They sleep together. They snuggle together. It's just, they have to know where the other is. It's amazing. So thankfully, we were able to adjust. And yeah, fitting them in the sedan from time to time is fun.
Do you have a sunroof?
I know.
The Dane is bigger than the Prius. Did they come from the same home together?
Did.
Okay.
They did.
Wow.
Yeah. Strange
And how old
situation.
are
A friend
they?
of ours. They
Sorry.
are, oh, that's okay. I guess they're 5 now.
Okay.
We rescued them. Yeah, they may be 6. Rescued them in 2021 when they were around 1. So they're probably getting towards 6.
Okay.
Yeah. They changed everything. They both have very big personalities and just very boisterous, and everything is exciting. Everything is intense and fun. And
Yeah.
they just really made a big difference for us.
Well, that's amazing. So you live surrounded by woods. And so is there any concern with them going out? Do they go out, and can sort of roam as they want to? Or do you have a lot of wildlife in your near surrounding? Because we do here.
We have quite a bit, and we also have a fence. Thank goodness.
Oh, okay.
A
Yeah.
fence around the whole property.
Yes.
They thankfully haven't tangled that much. The pit bull has encountered copperhead snakes a few times.
Oh.
Yes, and we've had to rush her to the vet a couple times, and they're not particularly venomous. You don't want to get bitten because it hurts and you need antibiotics.
Right.
Of course, they always get her right on the face or the nose.
Of course.
I know, and so she has to have antibiotics and pain pills. Thankfully, nothing else has crossed their paths really, because there are bobcats and there are black bears and there are who knows what, plenty of deer who they love to talk back and forth to the dogs.
I think deer are their allies.
Yeah, well, it's like deer bring their children to the zoo, the human zoo. Look in there. Look at those dogs. They can't come out of that fence.
I love that because I'm like obsessed with deer. So you look into their eyes and you want to know what they're thinking, and yeah.
Exactly. But we have lots and lots of birds. Occasionally wild turkeys will show up.
Yeah.
And they're just the biggest, goofiest, loveliest birds, just strutting around. And
Would you say that Dana and Pebbles have an influence on your creativity? You are an author of several books, and you probably have many other creative pursuits, but can you tell me a little bit more about how they might influence that?
My husband's going to have
Are
to
they
take them out.
rustling around there?
They are.
I
They
can hear
are.
them.
That's part of they're either snuggling together or flashing their teeth at each other.
Yeah.
Now
That's
they're going to go
awesome.
ram.
See, the
Oh,
listeners are getting it live here. The dogs are even in the podcast. I love it.
That's usually they're right in my face whenever I'm on Zoom. I have had rescue animals since I was 19, and almost all of them have ended up in a story in some way or another, whether it's the name of a character, the name of a dog or cat, the name of a spaceship, the name of a planet. I routinely put them in. And one of my early short story sales, we were challenged as part of an anthology workshop where 50 writers wrote for anthologies altogether. And one of them was to write a holiday romance. I'd not written holiday stories nor romance at that point. And I just said, all right, fine. I'm going to write a holiday romance with a magic cat set on Christmas Eve. And it was our cat, Zortia. And that story sold and it's been reprinted twice.
You're kidding. Well, you've got me already with holiday romance and cat. So
it seems obvious. Seems obvious now. And I've written 7 or 8 stories in that world. And the 6 that I was able to submit to that anthology all sold. And it was all our cats. I've never had to make up a cat. So and I've written a story specifically about Pebbles and Dana's rescue and our cats. I just wrote about one of our cats' rescues, and just like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So they're all over the place. They are.
So they're in it. It's part of who you are, part of your authorship and all of your writing. So that's amazing. So when
Absolutely.
you're writing at home, do you have a routine or are you a full-time author?
I don't currently have a day job. I do a little bit of consulting here and there. I published several nonfiction books with my uncle, but yeah, the as far as a career, this is what I do. I'm just publishing my 50th book, 50th major book. So that's exciting after I started in 2016. So this is my 10th year publishing. So that's
Oh, wow, you're living the dream.
it's been a fascinating journey
Mm,
and not just there's so much to learn. One of the things I love about being an independent publisher is there's always something new to learn, always. I mean, we have set up a Shopify store over the last couple of years, and I've got my computer is currently propped up on Shopify for Dummies, the book, because I want to learn more about the
mhm,
platform.
mhm,
And there's always more to learn about formatting and cover design and page layout. I did my first Kickstarter last year.
mhm.
So there's always something that's one thing I love about it. In my past life, I was an IT professional and a technical writer were the two big things because you're always learning. So this fits in. And yes, the IT professional has figured into stories too, because woo, you meet some characters in that line of work.
I'm sure, and I mean, they say write what you know, and some people say don't write what you know. I don't know, but we do tend to infuse a lot of life details. Come on, that's life, right? We want to, and I don't know about you, but I love infusing. I guess we'd call them Easter eggs. I'm not sure. I mean, nobody else would really know, but I love putting in details that nobody would ever know about me. But I don't know. It's fun. It's kind of like my own puzzle. When I get to reread it, I'm like, oh yeah, I put that in there, or you know, I don't know
That
about you.
oh yes, things that are from my past or
Yeah.
inside jokes between my husband and I,
Yeah.
or things that like my mom's going to recognize, but nobody else is. So that
Or you hope sometimes nobody recognizes what you put in it.
I am my husband's also a writer. We are both we've talked about how we will very clearly write about a certain person, but if you flip the gender or put them in a different profession or no one will recognize it, including them. But yes, Easter eggs. We're also both Swifties. I'm a big Swiftie, so the
Yeah.
Easter eggs are some. And like you said, even if it's just for me, even if I know, that name of that street there, there's a reason behind that. And if nobody ever knows, that's fine.
That's fine. So 50 books. Well, I guess my first question will be, will you have some sort of major celebration? Like that is quite an achievement. 50 is a big number. I did when I was 50 for myself, like
Oh,
age
yeah,
50.
yeah. I was pretty excited about turning 52.
Yeah.
It hadn't really occurred to me except for the 10th anniversary of those books, those first books that didn't come out until October. I am planning an October Kickstarter for one of them.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because that's pretty cool to have
Yeah.
the 10 years and 50 books at the same time.
It's a
I
big
was
deal.
yeah, it's novels, novellas, short story collections, a few anthologies of the two of us, and bunches of short stories. I don't even count those in that title, in that total.
When you infuse the animals into your stories, but and I'm sure there's no shortage of stories, but how do you come up with so many ideas and really follow through on all of them? I know I have folders filled with ideas, but I don't know how I'll ever have time to get to write those stories in full after I've seen how one story can take so long.
That is
How do you
exactly
manage
the thing.
that?
Well, I will never write the ideas. There are too many.
Yeah.
There are just too many. It's like your to be read pile.
Yeah.
I'm aware that I'll never finish my to be read pile, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have choices. The main thing is my biggest aim, and I think what really helps a lot of writers is what are you interested in right this minute? Whether it's an idea you had 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, or it just popped into your head. The way I visualize it is there's a little girl in the back of my head who runs the writing machine, and she's about 2 years old, and she wants to do what she's excited about right now. She does not want to be told what to do. She doesn't want to follow someone else's rules, but she has found this rock on the beach and that rock contains the entire universe. And she wants to write about this rock right now. And it may just be, like I said, maybe I thought of it 25 years ago. Maybe it just popped into my head. But if she's excited about that, if I hear this, oh, I want to do that,
Yeah.
that's where I need to go.
That's where you go.
So that's the thing is that keeps that part of my brain excited. And
Mm.
therefore I'm excited and it works. But if I have something I've decided, well, I need to write a sequel to this and my little girl's going,
Oh, no, we're not.
because that trying to force that voice into
Mhm.
like trying to put a 2-year-old into a suit or a dress, and they don't wanna be in it.
Our storyteller, because I'm just enamored just with I'm envisioning this little two-year-old in your head now with like a printing system.
Uh-huh.
So that is beautiful. Also, I think this conversation had to happen because I've just spent the last 6 days online, and I think we all walked out of there very discouraged. I mean, I'm self-publishing a book, but the discussions have this semester is all about publishing, and it was discouraging. I'll admit it. I mean, they're telling you there's no money. They're good luck getting a publisher, good luck getting an agent. That's basically the message. If you get one, well, you're a unicorn, I suppose. And so I think a lot of the students probably walked away deflated, tired. And I'm doing my own thing, so I'm super grateful for that. I'm doing the MFA just to have I suppose, the validation or the credit behind me. Whatever reasons, I have many reasons, but listening to you talk and seeing the passion that you have, and listening to that story of the little girl, right, who makes the decisions and when she's excited, that is what probably my peers from the last week need to hear as well, because we didn't really get any of that. And an MFA program is not really going to push self-publishing all that much. They're really going to focus on traditional. So we had agents and publishers from the United States talking to us, and it's a different market than Canadian market, of course. So thank you for that. That was a long-winded way for me to say thank you for that beautiful little story. I love seeing the excitement. Please don't forget that what you say will encourage so many more, right?
I'm very glad to hear that because it's
Yeah.
part of what drives someone into independent publishing is the passion to not only tell the stories, but to share them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, I mean, I've got a ridiculous number of stories sitting on this hard drive that need to go into the world, but I told them for me. I wrote the story because it was a story I wanted to read, but it didn't exist. So
Exactly.
I wrote it. But then when I completely step out of that persona and put on the publisher hat, I have just as much fun because I
Yeah.
love doing page layout. I love doing cover design.
Yeah.
I love figuring out what the sales copy is going to be. I love, gosh, is there some merch that might go with this? Could I do t-shirts? Could I do hats?
Yes.
Or one thing I saw an idea from Serena Bowen. She writes Hockey Romance. She did not write Heated Rivalry, which we love, by the way. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Canada, for that.
I suppose I have to get on board. I mean, I will at some point.
It's not just what everyone, it's a
Yeah,
wonderful story, just a wonderful story.
good,
But
good to
Serena
hear.
Bowen had a book. She's my favorite romance writer at the moment. Had a book that had the way she signed it is she designed an image that matched the cover image, but it was inside, and you could get a sticker that she'd signed and put that in your book. That way she doesn't have to touch the book. She can just send out the sticker.
Neat.
How cool is that? So
Very, very smart.
little things like that. Again, and that's not quite, but it's still my creative voice going, I want to do that. And that's all available to us. It's all easy. Well, I won't say easy because the design could be challenging,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't cost anything aside from ordering your proofs. And once you order your proofs, you have the neat thing.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
So that there's so many. I heard someone say independent publishing is a multifaceted satisfier because there's so many things we get to do and go, I like that.
I agree. And I am having a ton of fun as well.
Good, 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 good. I'm
I
so glad.
really am. And sometimes I feel like I need to kind of just keep quiet because I don't know, like I just want to scream out to the world, like I'm having a ton of fun with this. I have fun making my social posts, like all of that. But other people just, they do the eye roll and go, oh, whatever. It's this, that, or the other thing. But if you don't like it, don't do it.
Right. We have to find our peers, and
Mm-hmm.
our peer groups look different depending on what our aims are.
Right.
It's like finding your readers.
Yeah.
If I write the story I'm writing right now takes place in the 1880s in frontier US, which would be here in Virginia rather than the West, because
Mm-hmm.
this was pretty frontiery at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone is really worried about a real specific thing, oh, you didn't get the nails on the horseshoes right. They're not my audience because I'm writing for fun. And if I'm
Mm-hmm.
writing science fiction and someone I heard that people would complain about the gun Stephen King used in The Gunslinger,
Mm-hmm.
that it wasn't precise. I'm like, he was writing fantasy.
My goodness. He can use any gun he wants.
Right. If I have a unicorn in the book, don't tell me they're on the wrong street intersection.
Exactly.
So just being aware of your audience and your peer group, discovering people who have a passion or who have gotten further down the road than you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I want to learn more about mystery, I want to study a mystery writer who's further along than I am. With
Mhm.
romance, I'm going to study someone like Nora Roberts because
She's got it
although
going on.
she writes so much more than romance, some of her books have
True.
scared me deeply.
Really? Huh.
There's one called Inheritance that I recently finished,
Uh-huh.
a haunted house story, and that one scared me.
I never knew that about her.
She's written some post-apocalyptic novels. Oh, yeah.
My goodness. You were multi-genre as well.
I have written pretty much every genre, and usually they cross over.
That's fun.
It can make the covers challenging because,
Okay.
except for science fiction, if it's space opera, you want a spaceship on the cover. But what if it's a romantic mystery set in Appalachia where we live?
Mhm.
You just do your best.
One thing and another sort of little Easter egg thing that I've been doing is I may have a character in one story. I mean, I only have one book that's being published as it is, but I will have several in a few years. But I may have one character in one story, and I'm going to take that side, that character that's way in the background and bring them into another book. I have fun sort of moving things around. And so what about your process? Like, are your dogs around you when you write? I mean, I imagine your dogs are around you all the time.
There's often a head on my lap right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dana, the Great Dane, what it is she's laying in front of the wood stove right now
Of
because it's
course.
cold outside.
That makes
But
sense.
she often will lay on my lap and put one of her legs right into frame. She does that all the time, and people will just say, "Hi, Dana." So they're cuddled up beside you, or like if I'm out walking around doing morning pages or dictation, they're in the
Yeah.
yard with me. So yeah, and the cats have been too. I've got quite a few pictures of a cat with the head on the keyboard.
Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. I think we all have one of those. Or do your cats do this? Every time I sit down to type, I've got a little lap desk. And if I'm on the couch, she's got to come in between the computer and me. And I set down a full cushion, a blanket, right here. Well, like there's a really nice spot here. Nope. It's got to be right in the middle. So like you're trying to type. And of course, as the human who is ruled by the cat, of course you can lay there. I'll make sure you figure out a way to type. As long as your life is perfect and good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
work around them. Yet
That's right.
our dogs have a habit if my husband and I are watching TV or something,
Mhm.
if we make the crazy decision to sit side by side, someone has
Oh,
to be in the middle.
yes. Absolutely.
If we're not side by side, they can lay wherever. But oh, no, 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 right here. I'm going to be right here.
Kari, are you able to talk about what you're working on now, or is it top secret?
It was one of those odd ideas someone suggested, and this happens to me fairly often. Become a short story writer. I was a natural. I started out, my first thing I wrote was a 160,000 word novel. And then I've written several long novels. I write lots of novellas. That's kind of my natural range.
Okay.
But I had to teach myself how to write short stories. And I just passed short story number 300 since 2018, pretty much. So I finally
Wow.
figured that out. But this particular one is a short story that is approaching 30,000 words. So it's going over.
It's reaching the novella.
It's into novella.
Yeah. Yeah.
It came from the idea of a comet. And I just got to thinking, well, what if someone used a comet to manipulate a community, to change a situation? And it's a woman who has set off unwisely from Richmond, Virginia, about 20 years after the Civil War, because she needs to escape a situation and ends up getting lost up in the mountains where we live and just is in desperate straits until she wanders into this community that's just strangely there. It makes no sense.
Mm.
And there's reasons it makes no sense. But she ends up depending on a comet that actually happened. It was the Great Comet in 1880, around in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very big, bright comet that made news all over the world.
Okay.
It was daytime visible, which is not that common. But she gets to use this great comet. So I got to become a 5-minute expert on this comet. The way I do that is if I'm riding along, and the horseshoe example, her horse needed to be shod. And so I'm riding along. Oh, I need to know that. Get up, go to Wikipedia or wherever. Tell me about horseshoes in the 80s. Okay, good, got it. Go right back to writing. So I'm not a person to say, I'm going to mark that and go look at it later. My creative voice wants to know that right now.
Okay.
Because it might come in later in the story. Who knows? And if I save it till the story's over, I might have thrown something off balance. So I'll just go for 5 minutes, check it out. And I'm like, same thing with soap. how do you get soap if you're this frontier community in 1880 and you can't go to the drugstore, you know?
Hmm.
So that was a very kind of yucky little bit of research, and I decided not to go into too much detail in the story. But it's fascinating to me the odd things my mind comes up with that I would never, ever. Why would I care about soap making in the 1880s if
I don't
I
know. I think
weren't
it's
writing
pretty
these
fascinating
stories?
myself. Like, how did they
I
do
mean,
half
they're
the things that they've done?
exactly, and there are videos on YouTube for everything.
Like, well, how did they know? But I mean, it's history retelling itself. It's oral storytelling.
Mhm. But then if you're in fantasy or science fiction, one of my favorite writing experiences was toward the beginning of lockdown when I wrote a ton of romance. That was what I wanted to write because I could control that and it was going to be happy. But I decided one night, I've never written high fantasy. I want to start a high fantasy story. And it started with a teenage boy sitting on a rock reading a book. And it expanded gradually into this. There are mages and witches and flying horses and magic gemstones and so many things. And there were no rules because I was in that world for the first time, and I had so much fun. Getting into the second book in that series was also fun, but I had to follow my own rules. It was a little bit less fun.
What would happen if you didn't follow your rule?
Yeah, as long as it has a logic in the story,
Yeah.
then I'm good with that.
So now I'm curious because you've got this little girl who sort of, she dictates what you're going to write, but how do you choose? Do you get a feeling for the genre that you're going to pick up at a certain time? Like next month, it's February. Will you write romance because of that? Or is there something that drives that?
Not really. I figure out the genre when the story's over because
Okay.
I don't know what's going. Well, this Comet story that I'm writing right now, I'm 27,000 words in and there's some romance. I didn't know there was going to be romance.
Yeah.
So, depending on how high the romance ends up in the story, will I even put that in there or will it just be a historical fiction with romantic elements? It's all a balance. The only time I worry about genre and stuff like that up front is if I'm trying to hit a short story call where
Okay.
someone says, okay, I want you to write me a science fiction story set on a planet that's a human colony. Okay, then I might target that. Yeah, yeah. Or I just turned in a story for a summer romance
Yeah.
anthology. So that
Okay.
those kinds of things will direct me. But most of the time, if I'm just writing to write, I'll start with a character in a setting with a problem. And it might be your shoelace is untied, but you're going to end up on another planet. Or you have a flat tire, but you're going to end up in a fantasy world that's a portal fantasy. I don't
Right.
know that when I start because I write
Okay.
completely into the dark. I don't plot. But that's part of the joy of it is what excites the little kid in my head right now. General ideas of some things I
Yeah.
want to write this year,
Yeah. Right.
but it's not, okay, on March 3rd, I'm going to start. A lot of writers do that. I'm not. I do that a little bit with publishing, but I want to keep that little girl happy.
Mm-hmm. Because you want to be writing for years to come.
Yes, yes. If she's not happy, everything stops.
Then Carrie's not happy. Is the short stories that you write, are they planned for something or are they also just because they need to find their way onto the paper? Like is it for contests or magazines or anything?
A lot of them are for workshops we take. Like we will take a workshop and at the end, okay, now write a short story. Like there was a romance workshop that I flew out to Las Vegas to take, and we got to write 3 or 4 short stories during that week. And okay, I knew it was specific and it was in that setting. We just had, gosh, there was a space opera one not long ago. There was mystery, romance, like romantic suspense. I aim for those short story calls.
Mhm.
Or if I see, hey, this anthology coming up has something that looks cool to me. So more of my short stories are aimed towards something.
Right, right.
But then there are times when they do go over and say, okay, this is a novel now, and that's fine. Or I'll get into it and go, okay, this one's going to be too long. Let me stop and go back and write a short story. Let me try again to
Okay.
give myself time. And I'm also part of 2 collective magazines. One is called Mystery, Crime, and Mayhem, and we do mystery stories with the
Okay.
theme.
Yeah.
We had a theme of stolen cars. We might have a theme of a specific cozy, food related cozy, for example, and I'll aim for those. And part of another one called the Uncollected Anthology, which is urban fantasy. And we'll do the same thing. Like blue collar monsters is what's coming up. How much fun is that? So the short stories are more directed than the longer pieces in general.
Okay. And currently you are working on a collection. Do you want to
I
tell
have
us a little bit
a
more about that?
collection that I published a few years ago, but I had an opportunity to be in a group promotion back in December. And one of the things I learned from Kickstarter was I could do special editions that are available just for Kickstarter, or they can then just be on my website and nowhere else. So that inspired me to figure out how to do a special edition of this collection that was called Four-Legged Heroes: When Pets Rescue People. And that's exactly what that was for a workshop, as a matter of fact. It was supposed to do a 5-story collection based on pets. And so I wrote 5 stories in 5 weeks and then put it together and published it. But I said, no, I want to do a special edition of that. And that is just now available on my website as an ebook. And I do have the cover of it
Wow, I love it. Oh, I love
and one
it.
of the stickers. This is one of the art that I can. So instead of sending this to you in Canada, which is going to cost
Yeah.
crazy amounts of money,
Yeah.
or overseas, I could sign this and send it instead. And I love being able to do special edition things like that. And the ebook even has special artwork and stuff that's not going to be in the retail. So when I upload it to Amazon over the next couple weeks and Kobo and other online retailers, it won't have all those special images in it. It'll only be available from my website. So that kind of stuff is so much fun. But this has a fantasy short story in it. It has dogs, it has cats, but in some way, each of those stories, the pets rescue the person.
Love it.
So that's the fun of it.
Please make sure to send me when it's available. Do send me the link. I would like to purchase, but then I can roll it out on my end as well.
Certainly, certainly. And anytime you have a question about any indie publishing stuff,
I have a full list now, and I'm hoping that you will come back because I'm seeing a whole other conversation about your process and how you went from the corporate world to writing full time. And for someone like me who's just a sponge and trying to absorb it all, I know there are so many more people behind me that are just have the questions I had when I started. It would be wonderful to tap into all of the wisdom that Kari has, and maybe we could go through some of that.
I would be happy to. That is one of the things I love. I've been so fortunate in the people I've been able to work with, the people I've been able to study with, the things I figured out because I am a computer geek at heart.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff I can figure out, I love being able to share it because I was in that spot in 2016, right about this time. How am I going to publish this book? I don't know what to do. And now I don't want to say it seems commonplace because it's always exciting, but it's something I've done enough that
It seems natural for you.
yeah. And I'm very, very happy to share. And I want to see more of people's creative passion. I want to see more people telling the stories they want to read and telling the stories they want to share. And that connection with readers without the gatekeepers, I love that so much. That just having that, our minds touch. I mean, think about, I recently read Anne of Green Gables for the first time because our wonderful theater did a production of it last year. And I thought, I've never read that. And I was thinking, this person, she passed, she's been gone. And she was writing historical. And I'm sitting here in Virginia in 2025 at the time. And I downloaded it over my phone from the library over a satellite. But I was in Prince Edward Island and I was in that historic, she was controlling my mind from 100 years ago. And what a thrill to have that opportunity.
Well, and Anne of Green Gables, I mean, I read that so many years ago. I have to admit, CBC did such a great job with the televised version of that series.
I haven't seen that.
No, I imagine you wouldn't, but it was one of the shows that I watched when I was younger and it's near and dear to my heart for sure.
Now, this is a play. It's a musical. And our same wonderful professional theater is going to do Come From Away this year. I can't wait because I've wanted to see it since it first came out and never had the opportunity. So they showed that in their preview and I was just, finally.
It feels like we've just been talking for a few minutes and it's almost been 3/4 of an hour. So I do hope that maybe you could come back. When is it your 50th and your 10th year anniversary and your 50th book coming out?
The 50th book will officially be out February 1st. It's out pre-order. People can order it on my website. One fun thing about having your own store is it came out on January 1st on my store.
Okay.
But it's not till on the big vendors till February 1st.
Okay.
But the Kickstarter will be October for that 10th anniversary book.
All right. Well, how about we meet somewhere in the middle and we see how things are going and we can, I don't know, offer up some help to some of the new writers out there because like you, I would like to create some sort of mentorship program here where I help individuals like new emerging writers or just somebody who wants to write for fun. But I don't quite know what that looks like yet, but just you sharing that knowledge is what it's all about to me.
I would be delighted. That sounds wonderful.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we'll make sure to post all of your links in the show notes. And I can't wait to get myself a copy of that beautiful book. I love the green and the white bold lettering. Just love it.
It's covered A blast. You'll love it when you get into it. It's so much fun.
Gosh, can't wait. Well, say goodbye to Dana and Pebbles for me.
I will. And you say goodbye to your critters as well.
Yeah, yeah. Cash and Sally, they're in the house. Too cold in here tonight. And we will chat with you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Holly.
Oh, you're welcome. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Okay.